Ryan, if you had to
Yes.
devote all of your time to just one of these things, which would it be? Travel, family, education, self-care, a hobby, work, arts, friends. I hate them for throwing family in there because if I pick
Yeah.
something else, it makes me seem like an asshole. It's the Heather and Ryan show. Calm down.
It's all right, people. We're here. Sir, I need you to sit down. Sir, sit in the seat. I know you're excited to see me right now. I know you're excited to see me, but you need to be excited to see her too, okay? She's the star of the show here. Hey, I'm just telling you how it is, okay? She's the lead singer. Sir, calm down, sir.
Yeah! Listen, Ryan, I've decided that we're going to add something to our intro. My eventual goal, I know I keep changing things and adding things and doing things, but I just think we should get to a point where the entire episode is just an introduction.
Okay. Just run through the whole show, and then it's like, yeah! And it's the end.
Es ist Zeit für Sprudelwasser. That's what I want to add. I looked that up on Google Translate, and it translates to... Oh, I forgot to write down what it translates to, but I'm pretty sure it translates to, it's time for sparkling water. I just want us to both say that at the beginning of every episode. You know, it's super cute for everybody that can't see, which is everybody because we don't video record these. Ryan has held up a cute little teddy bear. Is that Tough Guy?
Maybe.
Is that Tough Guy? Oh, it's Tough Guy. It's my old teddy bear Tough Guy.
It's your old...
He is so cute.
It's your old teddy.
Okay, you need to send me a picture because I need to include that in the artwork for this episode so everyone can see it. So since you didn't seem to be that particularly interested in the Sprudelwasser idea, we're just going to move on.
Sprudelwasser.
Zero interaction on that one. Nothing. Totally ignored my whole thing. Sprudelwasser.
That was
Okay.
like mine. Yeah, anyway.
Maybe the joke is dead anyway. It obviously
Probably.
is based on your reaction, which again, super lackluster. Anyways, here's the deal.
No, I love Sprudelwater.
This is the Heather and Ryan show, where all we're trying to do is put you in a better mood by the end of the episode than you're in right now.
Was that the intro?
Did you not hear the whole intro? Welcome to our bubble. I'll just say it. You know what? I have a great idea. Ryan, we're going to switch it up. But, hey, I promised that one day an entire episode would just be the intro. I guess we're starting sooner than I thought. Here's the situation. I don't know what you find so funny. I am baffled. Listen.
We're sitting there fucking talking about Sprudelwasser, and you're like, you didn't really seem that into it. And then I'm like, looking at my phone as I'm taking a picture of Tough Guy. I was working, I promise.
Okay.
And you're like, you don't seem that interested in it. And I'm like, yeah, no, I love Sprudelwasser. Yeah. And then you're like, welcome to our bubble.
Ryan, listen, I have an idea. Not to beat another dead horse, which is the intro to this single episode. Do me a favor. I'm going to say something I want you to repeat after me, okay?
Uh-huh.
This is the Heather and Ryan show where all we're trying to do is put you in a better mood by the end of the episode than you're in right now. Say that. You've heard me say it a million times.
I have, and you know what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You've got this.
This is the Heather and Ryan show. We're trying to put you in a better mood than what you were in before you came knocking on our front door, brother and sister and
Welcome
siblings.
to our bubble, for the love of fucking God. Okay, intro over. We're going to play the game. Here's the situation. There's no game this week because I'm tired of it. Instead, quizzes.
Oh, good.
So here's how it works. We're both going to take the same quiz at the same time. Whoever does better, based on whatever we decide better means, depending on the quiz, wins the ever-coveted Gloating Rights trophy until we play again. Well, that's your line. I fucked that up.
Until we play again. Nope. I was going through puberty on that one. Until we Nope. Fuck. There it is again. Until we play again.
That was perfect. Nailed it. We are basically about to do a quiz to find out which one of us is the most boring person. Whoever's the most boring person wins the ever-coveted Gloating Rights trophy. By the way, this might not have been the best, most entertaining quiz to pick, but we're going to roll with it. I think, Ryan, as we go, we should discuss our answers so that it's not just a boring quiz taking, if that makes any sense. Okay. Ryan, do you want to go ahead and read the first question?
Heather, my first question for you is, which superpower do you believe to be the weakest? Super speed, time manipulation, invisibility, super strength, shape-shifting, telepathy, ability to control the weather, or flight?
Thanks for getting progressively higher and higher as you read those. I'm not sure anybody understood the last three. That's fine. We're going to roll. The least,
ability
the
to control
weakest.
the weather or flight. Yeah, see, I'm having trouble with this because what do we mean by the weakest, right? Because then they got super strength. Obviously, super strength isn't, quote, weak per se.
Right. Ryan,
Because
here's where I'm thinking.
Aside from super strength, everybody else who doesn't have super strength has vulnerabilities. But all those superpowers also have strength. See, Heather, I'm so boring.
That is really boring, Ryan. I was looking at super speed, and I was thinking that's definitely weaker than time manipulation, because if you can manipulate time, you can just be anywhere you want at whatever time you want.
Sure.
Which makes super speed superfluous.
Okay, so, but like, how super speed are we talking? Are we talking the Flash super speed? Or...
Yeah.
Okay, so the Flash super speed, you could take out an entire army. You could unarm them and take all their guns away from them before they even knew what happened.
But so could you with time manipulation.
Yeah, I know.
And you wouldn't have to get out of breath about it.
Invisibility.
You know what, Ryan?
Now, invisibility, while you're invisible, you can still get caught and you could still get hurt.
Yeah.
Super strength,
Ryan?
obviously, so shape-shifting is pretty powerful, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Telepathy's got to be high up there on the most powerful.
Yeah.
Ability to control weather. You know what, Ryan?
Flight is limited because you'd have to be in a nice open space, really.
I was going to say invisibility based on what you were saying, but then I realized I've got to go with my initial answer, and my initial thought was flight. I'm going to choose flight. What are you going to choose?
I think flight is it. Because flight, there's no superhero who just has flight. Anybody who has flight also has some other superpowers. So you're probably right. It's probably flight. I'm going to go with that.
Excellent. Okay, the next one, Ryan, that I'll read here is going to be really hard, and I'm just going to probably throw a dart at it for my answer, but it's this. Which is a quality you look for most in a partner? Bravery, loyalty, humor, respect, kindness, ambition, honesty, passion. I was trying to do what you did.
Oh. I was trying to make it sound more and more like an obnoxious question, each one.
I know you were, and so did I, and you did a much better job of it than I did. I guess I'm the more boring person.
You really want to be the most boring person? Okay, Heather, you can have it.
I really want to
You are.
win
You're
this.
super
I want to
boring.
get this. Listen, right off the bat, I think that humor, ambition, and passion are not as important as loyalty, respect, kindness, and honesty.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Although, so bravery, I guess, is also less important. You know what? I'm going to go with...
Especially this day and age. I mean, you know what I mean?
Because everyone's
brave,
a pussy? What?
If you're not brave, you could be seen as weak or boring.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking respect. I'm going to go with respect because it kind of covers a whole lot of those other... Because if someone respects you, they're going to be honest, they're going to be kind.
Right.
And they're going to be loyal. So...
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I think respect is a nice, good blanket term. See, Heather, we're agreeing on everything. We're going to be boring together.
We're going to be so boring together. I might just click a different answer to be extra boring at some point here.
Ooh, okay.
Ryan, if you had a house in each of these locations, which would you sell first? A house in the tropical rainforest, a house beachside, a house on a mountaintop. That's my answer. A house on a snowy plain, a house in the desert, a house in a rainy countryside, a house underwater, a house in a sunny flower field. Mountaintop, way too inconvenient. Forget it.
I'm probably going to go with the desert because I absolutely despise the heat.
Okay.
And I probably wouldn't spend a whole lot of time in that house.
Fair enough. Okay, so now we've had one different answer. So very possibly one of us is going to be super boring. Which way best describes how you tackle a heavy to-do list? Stay up late, get up early for more time to get things done. Roll up your sleeves and get to work. Do one thing on it, then take a really, really long break.
Hell yeah.
Write down a plan to get everything done. Designate tasks to others. Ask for help so it gets done twice as fast. Set deadlines for yourself. Put it off while it looms over you.
For me, it's probably do one thing and take a really, really long break.
I was going to say, I mean, it depends what it is.
It really, if it's a
for...
heavy to-do list, I just take one thing at a time. I don't have like any rhyme or reason. Like, I'm going to look at what's most important thing to do. Like, do I need to get places before certain times, or there's set times I have to do things? If it's like a free-for-all, then I'll just do it one thing at a time. If there's constraints, I get the constraints done first and then everything else after.
Wow, that's really well considered, Ryan.
And if I have a really... So
Ryan,
I guess set deadlines for myself is the thing that best fits for me here.
I think that I am going to have to go with... See, I'm just going to pretend it's for, like, work-related things instead of personal things, which I tend to put off more than... But what do I pick here? So I'm just going to say, you know what? I do make lists. I make a to-do list. Write down a plan to get everything done. I'm just going to pick that. That's what I do. Ryan, which best describes how you sleep nightly? Like a rock straight through the night? It's tough getting to sleep, but once you do, you sleep well. Pretty good, waking up maybe once or twice to go to the bathroom. You're a medium sleeper who sleeps on their side and maybe wakes up in the middle of the night twice a week. You're a heavy sleeper who sleeps on their stomach and rarely gets up in the middle of the night. You're a light sleeper, which makes some nights tough to sleep through. You sleep okay, but you always wake up with aches and pains in the morning. You alternate positions frequently and rarely get a good night's sleep.
I sleep like a rock straight through the night, but I also
I know you do.
Wake up with aches and pains in the morning.
What do you pick?
Like a rock through the night?
Go for it. I'll tell you what.
True.
I am a medium sleeper who sleeps on my side and maybe wakes up in the middle of the night twice a week. And that was before I slipped a disc, okay?
Ooh.
Now, I just toss and turn in pain and sleep kind of sometimes. But I don't think that counts. I think I have to pick what on a regular basis is what would normally happen. Ryan, if you had to devote all of your time to just one of these things, which would it be? Travel, family, education, self-care, a hobby, work, arts, friends. I hate them for throwing family in there because if I pick something else, it makes me seem like an asshole.
I think we should ignore family because, I mean, obviously our family comes first. Like, there's no...
Right.
There's no... You know, and I mean, for me, like, my kids are... You know, I've got an adult child now and one that's going to be there in a few years. So it's like we're almost empty nesters. You know.
So lucky. So lucky.
But I'm going to ignore family. I'm going to pretend like that's not even on the list. Because that's not
Same,
fair.
and I'm going to
pick... I would say a hobby.
A hobby? I'm going to pick education.
I would love to be able to just, like, spend... Especially if, like, money wasn't a consideration.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could turn that hobby into a business.
And then...
if you wanted to.
Work more.
Yeah,
Ryan,
but you're still doing something you love.
You know what? When you do something that you love... it's like you never worked a day in your life.
That's right.
My friend that I went to school with named Jeff had a summer internship or a project or something, and he worked at a golf course with a guy named Monty.
Uh-huh.
And that's what Monty said to him. If you love what you do, you never worked a day in your life.
Yeah.
I just remember him saying that one time, and it stuck with me, especially because the guy's name was Monty, because I've never known anyone named Monty.
I knew a Monty.
You did?
I did,
Did he work at a golf course?
No, he worked at a steel fabrication shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Close. Very similar.
Real close.
I pick education because I have just, I don't know what's going on. When I was in school, I wanted to be anywhere but in school. I was just like, God, drag me through every day. And I went to a good school. I mean, we went to the same school, got a good education, which I highly value. But I just like, where was my desire to learn then? Nowhere. I'm surrounded by books. Like I have 100 books at my house because every time I see one, I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. I could learn something from that. And I do a lot of reading. I've pretty much given up on most TV watching and replaced it with reading. And I dream about just sitting there all day learning things. So education, I feel like that's pretty boring too. So on we go.
Oh, so you're just you're hand picking your answers to be boring.
No,
boy, is that gonna bite you in the ass.
Okay, you know what? Stop it. That is my honest answer, and don't you dare. That is my honest answer to that question.
Heather, I'm joking.
I'm offended. Offended.
I love you,
I know.
Heather. Calm yourself down.
Thank you.
Calm.
I wonder if this is much longer. Oh, I think this is the last one. Okay, here we go. I was starting to get bored with the damn test. Choose the role you'd be most comfortable filling in a big meeting at work. The presenter, the leader, the analyst, the financial advisor, the marketing agent, the concept artist, the fact checker, the note taker. Select. That's the easiest one. Fuck all those other things.
Throw a chair through the window and escape this one?
Just
I don't want to go to a meeting.
Note keeper. It's the easiest thing on there.
I'm the note taker.
Okay, so did you get your result?
I'm looking. Oh, personality 3.
Listen. Ugh.
We got the
so
same
annoying. I also got personality 3. Let's read. Let's tell everyone how great we are. Ready? Do you know the feeling of happiness you get when you see the sun peek out of the clouds on a dreary day? That's the feeling people get when they see you. You have energy that is as contagious as it is inviting. Your charisma and your sincerity make you a great friend and a great person. I was hoping that we would be assholes, but apparently this quiz likes us.
Hell yeah. That made me smile.
Oh, you felt good about that one, huh? We're great. Everybody, listen to our podcast and stop
yeah.
ignoring our existence. We're going to make you feel, you know what? Actually, that fits right with the theme of what we're trying to do. We're trying to put you in a better mood. And obviously, we're so charismatic that we will. So get listening. Also modest, very modest. Okay, listen. Send us your games that you want us to play, your quizzes that you want us to do. Ryan, we're tied. We're tied 1 point against 1 point. We're going to do another quiz next week. It's going to be quizzes. So we'll see who wins that one. In the meantime, the Heather and Ryan Show at gmail.com, or comment on our YouTube video of this episode, which is in the link. If you're in YouTube, you don't need the link. But if you're in a podcast app, link in the description of this episode to the YouTube video where you can comment the quizzes you want us to take, the games you want us to play, etc. Ryan, it's time for stories from Reddit.
Until we play again.
Thank you for that totally incongruous interjection. And now, Ryan, we are going to go to stories from Reddit.
Oh. I thought you were ending the show.
No, sorry. We don't have enough material. We got to do Reddit stories. Here's the deal. Remarkable coincidence of your life stories.
Ooh.
Got a couple good ones here. Okay. From Been Through It. In 1983, at the age of 12, I got a concussion horsing around with my brother. We were poor and homeless, so it was a couple of days before my mom took me to one of several local hospitals. So I wound up there for a few more days, which were very foggy. Anyway, there was this one nurse who would stop by and be so sweet and brought me cookies and whatnot. I was smitten, but never saw her my last day there. Fast forward about 7 years, and I'm delivering auto parts for a local Napa. I get to be good buddies with the parts coordinator at a very large construction company, and he keeps going on and on about his best friend's wife. She's so wonderful, sweet, and all. And he wishes his wife were cool like this guy's wife. That marriage is dead. God. I mean, I listened to this dude gush about her nearly every day for 6 months. About 2 years later, I met and soon after married my wife, who incidentally is 14 years older than me. Through talking, which is the great denominator of our relationship, I come to realize that my wife is not only the nurse 12-year-old me was enamored with, but also the then wife of the guy's best friend. In just one more unsubstantiated instance, I swear I saw her standing near the lakefront during the fireworks on the 4th of July in 1976. She has confirmed that she was there that day, but had been drinking, didn't remember which part of the lake she was standing on. There were thousands of people there that day. We have been married for 26 years now. I am still very much in love with her, and I truly believe she is my soulmate. That was such a beautiful story.
Ah.
Except for that asshole parts coordinator. Get your shit together, man. Ryan.
Yes.
From Lap Ike, or Lapike, or is that a T? I don't know. The only time in my life I've ever seen the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, which is just the great. Okay, if anybody's not from America, it's a big hot dog car. Okay, it's the
like
Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. It's fantastic. It's the most American thing you'll ever see. The only time in my life I've ever seen the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile was when I was telling someone about it. They refused to believe it existed, and I was describing it to them, and then it drove by. I think I must have summoned it. I've been trying again, arranging various Frankenfurters in a pentagram surrounded by mustard-scented candles, but haven't had any luck. Love that one.
Can't forget the sauerkraut offerings.
Yeah, you really can't. Need some buns in there, and then you just splatter ketchup all over it like a crime scene. That's what you got to do. Then the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile will drive by you. From Mick Sibis.
You know, that reminds me of a time where I got into an argument with someone at work over whether a liger was a real thing or not. And I was like, yes, ligers are real. It's a breed between a lion and a tiger. It exists. Like, you can Google this. You can find it on the internet. It's there. It's I mean, I guess that's like it's not saying much this day and age, but at the same time, I know for a fact that they exist. And we were arguing, how cool would it have been if a liger walked by as I was convincing him that they were real? Where was that liger? Where was he?
Ryan, I don't know, because I don't know where ligers originate from or where they are. I do know that you could have just Googled it on your phone and showed it to him.
I did.
Where was that? Oh, you did, and he still didn't believe you?
Still didn't believe me.
All right, well, he's just a dumbass. Forget that guy. Speaking of weird animal hybrids, have you heard of a mouse deer?
Have not.
A mouse deer.
Assuming not even an actual crossbreed between a mouse and a deer.
No, it's not, but it is a mouse with legs like a deer. It's the weirdest looking thing you've ever seen.
What?
You're going to Google mouse deer. No, deer mouse. Deer mouse. And I believe that they are somewhere in Asia. They're rodents.
Yo, what the
Is that nuts? I read about this in a book I was reading.
Is that the size of a mouse?
That is the size of a mouse. It is a mouse with the legs of a deer.
That is adorable. I want one.
You like it?
I want a mouse deer.
I want to say it's from Singapore. Oh, Southeast Asia, India, and Africa. So, okay. Because I read about it in a book. I'm reading a book called King Rat by James Clavell. And it takes place in a Japanese prisoner of war camp during World War II. I believe in Singapore is where the camp was. But the guy that wrote it actually was a prisoner of war in a Japanese POW camp. So it's very interesting, but they were talking about deer mice, and I was like, I have never heard of that before. I looked up pictures. To my surprise, it actually exists.
They got tiny little hooves.
I don't think they actually have hooves if you zoom in and look close.
Either they're cleft feet like a goat, right?
You're right. You're absolutely right. They do. I don't think there's hooves on them.
Yeah, it's the little black spot. I call them hooves. I know that they're not called hooves, but it's like they've got similar goat feet to goats.
Indeed, they do. Anyways, that's your fascinating fact of the week, folks. While we dive into our very last coincidence of your life story from Reddit, from Mixibus. I worked in a video store. I was picking up the returns to put them back in the system when I found a business card in the returns bin. It's the only time in 3 years that I ever found anything other than movies. We were 3 employees on that shift, so any of us could have found it. It was one of my brother's business cards. He lives in another city and had no idea where I worked and when. I asked him about it, and he has no idea how it got there. What are the chances that someone dropped it in my store on my shift and I would be the one to pick it up?
Mm-hmm.
It could have been someone who knew both of us playing a trick on me, but I moved in that city just 2 years prior, and none of the people I knew there could possibly know my brother as well. I have another one. While signing the lease of our new apartment, the landlord realized that my significant other's name was familiar. It was a pretty big apartment building, and they had a lost and found box. The landlord went and searched in the box and got my significant other's handbag that had her name written inside. She lost that handbag a year earlier during her vacation in British Columbia, 2,300 miles from here. We have no idea how it got there. I love stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Isn't it nuts? Coincidences are sometimes just super cool. That was my favorite one for some reason. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, that one is pretty cool.
I have this coincidence because sometimes I read these stories and it reminds me of stuff that's happened to me. And I have this vague recollection of a coincidence like that that's been on the tip of my tongue for a week and a half, and I cannot remember it. So if I do, I'll share it in the next episode.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Do it.
So listen, send us your stories. What's the coincidence of your life? Comment below. Or if you're listening in a podcast app, use that handy dandy link in the description to comment on our YouTube channel, or email us, the Heather and Ryan Show at gmail.com. And with that, Ryan, I would like to
only coincidence I could think of that may have possibly happened in my life is it is entirely possible that Rebecca and I could have crossed paths very early in our lives, because she grew up where we currently live here in Vancouver, Washington. And there is a fort that we would have field trips from to come up here and look at as children. And there were always other field trips there at the same time. And we went there so many times. It's possible. It's possible we met before we ever knew we were going to meet.
That's absolutely amazing, Ryan. Now, after that letdown of a story, I'm kidding. We're going to leave you with some free advice, okay? Go ahead and Google mouse deer and
do it.
Get ready to be
you want one now.
Amazed.
You will want a mouse deer pet as soon as you see this. It's a tiny little deer. It's a deer the size of a mouse. And it looks like it's got a shrew's nose.
It does look like it has a shrewish nose. It's got a little mouse body with little deer legs and a shrew nose.
Yeah, shrew. Okay. I'm glad that's what you said, because I thought you said
What did it sound like I said? Shrewish.
I'll tell you after the show, Heather.
Okay, it sounded like I said Jewish. I get it now. Let's move on. Ryan, can I just say something before we end here? I am aware that I say awkward, unintentional things. I never noticed it until we started doing this podcast, and I would be in edit and I would hear myself say things and I'd be like, why'd I say that right there? That makes absolutely no sense in the context. Or I make some comment that's like very offensive and in my mind sounded great coming right out of this shrewish nose. Okay?
Oh, you said shrewish.
I said a shrewish nose. Oh my God.
I wonder why I heard what I thought I heard.
Yes. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm a racist. Listen, here's
boy.
the deal. Look up a mouse deer, okay? And take your shrewish nose, all you dumpster philanthropists out there, to call back to an earlier episode, and have yourself a fantastic, wonderful
until we play again.
Time until we play again. You jumped the gun there, bro. You jumped the gun.